Wondering if your air filter on your lawnmower is dirty or not? Wondering where it is and how to check it? I'll do that right now. I'm Uncle Mark. And ours is, well, it's time to change it. Let's get right to it. Depending on your mower, this can be on various brands. It may look a little different, but this side obviously is a muffler side. This gets very hot. So it won't be on that side. It'll be on an opposite side, probably where the cable for your throttle goes in, because that'll be close to your carburetor. So it's behind this little plastic piece here. Oh, some notes that I've made. You may want to use something like that. We'll talk about that later. So it'll be behind some kind of a cover like this black one here. I'll just set you up so you can see what we're doing. It actually sucks air from one of the sides. It'll have some vents or holes. This one's kind of rectangle on the end. Now there's a screw there that's holding the piece on. So this one actually can either be a screwdriver or it can be a socket. Now this one, the socket, looks like it could either be your metric or your standard size. For this one, it looks like it was either a 8mm, I believe it was. Is that what one is? Let's take a look right here and see. Oh yeah, I was right. 8mm or 5/16 here is probably going to be the same. It might be different, but kind of a common size. So you can use that, or I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver because it's readily available. Don't have to buy any extra pieces. Most people have a flat screwdriver. You just want to undo that little bolt or screw there. And it probably won't fall out. It's probably captured in there. It'll just come out enough that the mechanism moves back and forth, this little door. So I'm just going to pry it open a little bit, gently. And yours probably is the way this one is. It's not really hinged, it just sits in a couple of holes or some slots. And this is where it sucks the air in, as we mentioned before. It's possible this housing is a little different on yours, but it's the same kind of principle. Want to make sure those passages are clean. You could wash this if you want to, then let it dry. And we'll show you how this goes in. So pretty dirty. These little pleats or folds. That's the side that it sucks into, and that way the dirt can get stuck in between the folds. I'll show you what a new one looks like, but you see it. You know, you could tap it and try and clean it a little bit. I've done that a couple times where you see the dirt comes out if you gently tap it, but these are not very expensive. I've already reused it once, so I've got a new one here. I'm just going to rip it open. And you could always bring the old one with you to wherever your parts store is. Maybe a hardware store might have these. There's different kinds. Some are round, some are square. So it'll help if you have your old one with you. But as we can see, if you flip them around, same size. Looks fairly the same. It's going to fit. This is the right one for sure. Various manufacturers making them. So what you're going to want to do is once it's clean, those pleats are going to go against the cover. So they face that. And then we're just going to put it back in. Again, you can see how those pleats are where the dirt is going to get trapped. Now this one, it's got little fingers in the bottom. They're going to go into these little holes at the bottom there. It kind of works as a hinge. I'll give you a little closer look at it. Again, yours may look similar, may be a little different, depending on. But the main thing is you have a nice clean filter and the engine should run a little better. Probably use a little less fuel, possibly. Better for the environment if you're trying to be conscious of that as well. Look after your mower and your mower will look after you. Those little fingers go in those holes. Just line them up and then you just push that baby back in. Once that is done, make sure it's sitting in there properly. Tighten that up and you should be ready to go. I'll try and put another video just right after this of me working on a mower doing something else. More videos on mower repairs, on In the top right hand corner there, I'll put a link to a playlist. Oh, I've actually written down what my spark plug size is there, as well as the wrench size for the blade when you have to sharpen them. And I see that this needs to be cleaned up as well. You don't want old grass sitting there because it could catch fire. More videos in the top right hand corner. There will be a repair playlist. You can click on the card. Thanks for watching. Since you've made it this far, maybe you'd like a bonus video. How about doing an oil change in the lawnmower? I'm trying to make this quick, so after cleaning it off a little bit, just because, well, it was pretty dirty. Might be nice not to get that dirt on you or in your old oil or on your new oil. And I was pretty sure that there was like a place where you could drain the oil, a little bolt. Well, this one and this new one has, went to the store and took a look, has a drain hole. Doesn't make much sense to me since it's right near the filler cap. But didn't have any under there. It probably would have been nice to have one underneath, but in this case, this mower doesn't even have that. I'm going to try to use an old turkey baster or maybe this oil sucker. And I've got an old oil container that I can put the old oil in. It's not going to take much. So I tried this one first, and the hose just won't go in far enough. The hose is a little too big. I guess where this dipstick goes in, it must get narrower and narrower till you get to the bottom. And it's still higher than the oil is. So I got no oil out with that. Nothing. Won't even touch the oil. Tried the turkey baster as well, and that wouldn't go down far enough either. I would have thought it would. If it would have made it nice and easy, maybe a little slow. So I guess what we'll do is just get to it and just dump it over. That's the plan. I've got an oil pan here from the car. I'm going to flip her over. Just make sure that no gas comes out. Looks kind of gross. Seems to look maybe a little cleaner on the dipstick. Look at that. I don't know how old this oil is. I'm sure I've done this before, but they really want you to do it every 50 hours. Whatever that works out to, if it's every couple of years or every year, depending on how big your lawn is. Our lawn isn't super big, so it probably takes us an hour and a half to cut our lawn. So would you cut it 30 times in a year or so? So I just let it sit like that and drain for a while. In fact, it's a good time maybe to take the blade off the bottom bit since it's sitting on its side, sharpen it up. So that's what he did. Once a lot of goo is out, I'm going to use some new stuff. Now, it depends on your vehicle. Your oil grade will vary. I think the older ones used to use 30W or straight 30. The newer one's using 1030, I think. You can either, it might say it on your mower. Hard to say what you should use. I guess it'll be based on your unit. How much can you put in there? It doesn't take a whole lot. Capacities probably are somewhere between 12 and 13 and a half ounces, and that exact, or about 354 to 400 milliliters. And it doesn't sound like much, and the difference is not very much either, but you can overfill it, and that's not good. Might start smoking, may not run right. So I'm going to let it sit here for a little bit because I'm figuring that the dipstick's kind of got oil on it just from pouring it into a hole the dipstick goes in. I let it sit for a while. Then I went and checked it again. So how much oil came out of it? By knowing how much came out, in theory, if you put that exact amount back in, you won't be overfilling it unless it was over full before. But I'm just going to keep checking it just to see, until I get it to the right level. As for this, I just want to see how much goes in the bottle here. And I had it sitting for a while too because that pan was dripping back into the bottle. And close to what we were talking before, oil changes, I think you're supposed to do them every 50 hours. I can't really see anything on this stick yet, so maybe not enough oil in there. Or is it that clean? No, I don't think anything's on there. It's got to be somewhere between those two holes, which makes it a little easier because the hole will get the oil in it and stay there. Oh, there's a little bit on the stick. Needs more than that. Of course, once it's run a little bit, you'll be able to tell by it being dirty. Back to what's in the bottle. It looks like I'm at about 300 milliliters, or I don't know, 9.5 ounces. Is that maybe what we're at? I'm using 1030, and this was designed for 1030. Let's see what yours is designed for. That looks like it's just about right. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching.